We'll start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to today's KD section. And for my presentation, I'll be talking about Laravel performance optimization. Like I said, I'm Patrick Kudo, a backend software developer at Bicom. You can find me at LinkedIn. That's my LinkedIn profile. So basically, before I begin, I'd like to talk a little about what performance optimization is. So performance optimization is simply the process of making something, especially a computer system, work effectively as possible. So now you are more concerned about the efficiency of the system or the computer process, and also how fast it is. So basically, performance optimization of a program and software is the process of modifying a software system to make it work more efficiently and execute more rapidly, like I said. So I would like to give a brief intro about Laravel, because I'm talking specifically on Laravel performance optimization. So Laravel is an open source PHP framework which was created by Taylor Otwell. It was intended for web applications, which follows the model view controller system. So now you'll be asking, why do we need to optimize our projects or our web applications? Why do we need to worry more about performance optimization? So I'd like to tell you that an online study shows that 1 second of load lag time would cost Amazon 1.6 billion in sales per year. Another Google's study report shows that if search results are slowed by even a fraction of a second, people search less. I'm very sure if you're on Instagram and you're trying to load a video, or maybe on YouTube, and it lags, you probably walk away or like go to the next video or something. So now, taking all this into consideration, you need to be very, very conscious if your web app or your website is actually loading fast based on the performance. So now this is where the performance optimization comes in, because of course your web application is actually targeted towards your user. You don't want to lose user based on the sluggishness or the inefficiency of your website. So now, Laravel performance optimization. Now this, basically we are going to talk about tips on how to make a Laravel project or Laravel app, web app built with Laravel, and how to make it faster, how to make it more efficient. So Laravel performance optimization is simply the process of making Laravel applications or applications built to Laravel framework perform efficiently and rapidly. Since Laravel is often used to build business information systems, performance of Laravel powered application has serious implications for the success of businesses. Now, I'll go directly into tips on how to improve Laravel performance. So, tip number one is config pitching. So now, briefly, I've not talked about what pitching is so that everybody could understand. Now, basically, a cache in a layman term, a cache is simply a place where your browser stores images, code, and other files to avoid re-downloading them repeatedly. So, for instance, if Google Chrome does that very well. So it's basically caches your images, your CSS, sometimes CSS majorly, so that you don't have to re-download them every time you visit a website, whereby the result of that is that your website becomes very fast. So now, some of the data retrieved or processed, some of the data retrieved or processing tasks performed by library application could be CPU intensive, and they may take several seconds to complete. So now when this is the case, it is common to cache the retrieved data for a time so it can be retrieved quickly or subsequent request in data. The cached data are usually stored in a very fast data store, such as we have the two common type of cache, or sorry, cache in Laravel, the mem cache or the Redis. So now part of the caching system we could use to make a Laravel app faster includes the first one, config caching. So now to achieve config caching, all you need to do is just to run an artisan command known as php artisan config cache, config cache. So now when you run this command, basically the caching is essential for achieving high performance. Then this command helps to implement the proper caching strategy during development, and it's critical to avoid lagging and sluggish pages. So it's good to know that once you run the PHP artisan config, when you run the command, the first one, it saves all your configuration, and subsequent loading on the website becomes faster. But then, if you add a new configuration on your Laravel app, it's not going to work because you've actually cached it. Now, for you to include the new changes you make in your app, you have to run the second command, php artisan config clear. Then after that, you can now cache it so that you can bring in the new configuration you added. Then the next one is tip number 2 is route caching. Just like config caching, some of our web in the case whereby your Laravel app has many routes, let's say an e-commerce website or a very big website, which will have many routes. So now when users try to access particular routes, when they keep going and coming, if it is not catched using the PHP artisan route catch, there might actually be lagging, like sluggishness due to it not being catched. So one of the ways to improve, optimize your website and make it faster and efficient by actually caching the routes by using the PHP artisan route cache command. Also, so when you do that, it stores all of your routes in the cache folder, or it stores it there, and so that subsequent loading of that particular route will not need to fetch it any longer. It just goes to the cache and just load it through. This makes it faster and more efficient. So also, if you add a new route after running the PHP artisan route cache command, if you need to add a new route, you have to first of all clear the routes. Each cache route has to clear it first. If not, since you already cached your routes, it's not going to get the new route. So after clearing it, so you have to clear first before you add, and after adding, then you can cache it back. So that way your app can run faster and smoothly. Then thirdly, the removal of unused service in your config folder in past config. Basically, what this is saying is that all you actually the ones you don't need. Sorry, am I done? Yeah.
You're still on, bro.
Yeah.
But your network is breaking.
Yes. Okay, is it better now? Basically, what it's saying is you don't need all that should be config. So always try to remove unused services or comment them. That way you don't have to load the entire config file before it runs. So you just put the services and by the service provider. This actually helps to make your library applications faster. Then the first tip is actually catching of query results. So if for instances whereby if particular searches are going to be going to occur frequently, you can actually catch your query results. And this actually, when you catch commands of the library app, so that you use the command to do that, so that you to tell the cache to always remember this. So now when sometimes as a user, when you browse through the website and you make a request, now instead of it to try to as content of the website, it does not do that. Cache is all it does is just to pick it from the cache, because you already had cache. Remember, this help the application to run faster and perform better. So the cache queries is very, very important. Then is the use of eager loading for data. There are two ways of loading relationships. We have easy loading query, it's actually not performance free, and eager loading. Now, for instance, where you want to relate a particular entity to another one, for instance, maybe you can author or comment and post. There are two that load them lazily, which is actually not the best way because active. So now it's good to use the eager loading, because for the lazy for pulling all of them, then to the author. So now, which is going to make your application slow compared to the gallery, which actually pull the book with its author, and then you look through the and this makes application fast. The website first, then you now say for each of the book, then the authors. So next tip, that optimize auto load. Basically, just a good idea to use computer scan. Use computer to scan the application and create one-to-one association of classes and file. Benjamin.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. It just came on now.
Okay, please, where did I go off?
The screen is not even sharing yet.
Sorry, my screen off now.
Not yet on. Okay.
So that's where the of hello.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Patrick, are you there? Hello. Let's be patient with him. The network is really bad.
Hello, Benjamin.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what about my screen?
It's on now.
Okay, so that's where did I jump off?
You can start from where you this particular place. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I was talking about the composer optimized auto load. So now it's good to create a one-to-one session classes and files in the application, and this can be achieved using the composer dump auto dash o command. Then lastly, we have the live log. So this is an eloquent command which helps to plug a particular column on your table, on your database table, so that instead of retrieving all of the columns under the table, it gets just a particular column you need. For instance, if you're trying to access the user model from, you need to create user model. So instead of getting all the details about the user, such as the name, the email, maybe dates or the date of birth. So basically everything when you need just the name. So you could use block name, and this actually just brings the name instead of actually getting everything. And by so doing, this helps your app become faster and it helps in optimization. So other optimization, lab optimization tips includes running the latest version of PHP. PHP is always very observant when it comes to optimization, such that every new version of PHP being released, they tend to make it faster. And based on the current version, they now use JIT, which is just in time, which is much more faster than OP-Cache they were using before. Then we have precompiled assets. Then we have using CDN for delivering static assets. So the use of CDN makes it also fast. For instance, you could actually use links to pictures from the website instead of storing the picture themselves. This actually makes it a bit faster. So using CDN for delivering static assets instead of using your own personal files, you just get a link and use them. Then we have asset bundling too. Thank you. Any question? Benjamin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm actually done. I don't know if I'm still, if my screen is still up. I'm done and
okay, thank you. Does anyone have any question for Mr. Patrick? Mr. Patrick, if none, you can ask questions just to save our time.
okay. Yeah, basically I just want to know if anybody understands the whole reason why we need to optimize not just our web apps, but then our web app as a whole. Anybody can answer. The reason for optimization.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. From what we've touched today, I can take that it makes our application work faster. Just like the last part we were talking about, where you talked about it saving information, that is in terms of caching. If I'm correct, my pronunciation, in terms of caching, it's being able to save information, then retrieve it at the right time. So you don't need to start typing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's what I'm able to get. Aside from some steps that you listed, such as browse caching, having to remove it. Then you talked about actual results. So the actual results, I did not follow it network. Then you talked about composer optimization auto load. So that's what I'm going to take.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So the next question is basically, can anyone just explain what he or she understand by caching? Or what a cache is? Anyone at all? What he or she understand by caching or what cache is?
Okay, can I answer that?
Yeah, of course, you can go ahead.
Okay. Caging is more like it saves information so that our PHP is able to. And you talk about the command that we use, which is the artisan route, then column cage. And you said something about we have to first, in order for us to, I don't know if I'm correct, if I get the sequence. In order for us to add, we have to first remove, or should I say, so that's why talking about teaching. You can
Sorry, I could barely hear. I don't know if it's my network or yours. I could barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
It's a bit better.
Can you hear me now? All right. Is that it helps to, it's more like a memory where you have to retrieve information. Then you talked about a command, PHP artisan route, then column cage. Then you also talked about another command too, which is PHP artisan route column clear. So the place where I am actually getting confused of actually adding, I don't know, I think it's adding a cage or something. There you said first we have to clear, we have to, I cannot remember the last one. First one is remove. The second one, I can't remember the second one, but the last one is now to add. So I can't remember the second step.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. So basically, you've answered the question. Kitchen is just a place like a storage where you store images, or to be a route you could be. So like when you store something, it's like we totally easily retrieve it easily. So yeah, well done. Thank you very much. Over to you, Benjamin.
All right.